Hello and welcome to the first session for the tutorials of Solidworks. We are going to start with the basics. We're going to tell you first about what is Solidworks and what it is used for. Solidworks is basically a designing software. It is mostly used by the engineers to design the mechanical parts, any furniture parts used by the furniture person, and any anything that includes a realistic view or any new design which includes the product designing used by the industrialist. So we're going to start with the basics and we're going to open a new part. So control N and we're going to make a new part. So here we are with all the options available on the SolidWorks. It is the basically it's on the left tab. On the left it is the tree basically of all the steps we are gonna use, and this includes all the planes we have made or the new planes we will make here. They will come here automatically. So I have turned off the visualization of the planes and we can start. First of all, we're going to discuss some of these feature tab points, and then we're going to move on the sketch, surfaces, mark, and so on. We can also discuss the cam of the SolidWorks. It's pretty amazing, I must tell you. So starting with the features, we have extruded command, revolve command. So what does extrude does? As you can see, it does extrude a sketch you have made in 2D, and it gives a thickness to it. So we're gonna show it to you. We're gonna select the front pane and we're gonna move on to the sketch and we're gonna sketch something. For where we're gonna make a rectangle and the sketch is completed. uh, Now we're gonna extrude this part. We're gonna select the sketch and we're gonna go to the feature, the extrude command. And as you can see, it's asking me how much thickness I want to give. I can select here 20 thickness, I can select 30 thickness, or I can just drag this arrow and I'm gonna select how much thickness I want to give. So we can also select the direction of the extrude. If we select the mid plane, it's gonna select this, and let's up to a vertex. If we have another drawing, or we will just select the vertex of that drawing and we're gonna give it that direction, so it's gonna extrude to that vertex point. uh, Unfortunately, we don't have any another sketch here right now, so we're gonna give it to that way. Up to a surface, if we have another surface, we're gonna select this command and it's gonna extrude this feature, this sketch to that surface. uh, in in the future, we're gonna just we will see how this all work if we come along some pretty good example, some pretty good sketches for it. Now uh, we can use also the thin feature. It's gonna extrude only the boundary layers of the sketch. So if you select it, as you can see, it's including the boundary only. And if we can give it a direction, we can invert the direction. It's gonna be moved inwards and outwards. If we select the mid plane, it's half thickness is towards the it's inwards and half it's outward. It is the basically the contours which we will select. If you haven't selected the sketch before selecting the extrude command, then you can use it. For example, let's select the extrude command and then we're gonna select our sketch and select it. We can if we have multiple sketches within a sketch, we can select which contours we want and which contours we don't want. Right now, pause for the extrude command, and now we're gonna move on to the revolve command. What does revolve command does? So we're gonna edit this feature and gonna see what does it do. Basically, revolve commands, it uses a axis around which a sketch we have made we can revolve it. It was theoretical. I can show it to you. I'm gonna select a reference axis. That's okay. And now I'm gonna create some shape. Regarding that, if I'm gonna select the spline tool, it's gonna make me to. As you can see, I've created one, and now I'm gonna take it and I'm using a revolve command. I'm gonna select this uh, One more thing, I need to close the shape before using the revolve command. I need to close the shape. So we have seen it. Now we're gonna revolve this. You can see it has been revolved. We can also change the axis, but we will have to make the sketch according to that axis then. As we have made this this unique sketch according to this axis, therefore it has revolved around this axis. We can change the angle of revolution as you desire. Also, we can also use thin command here, but our sketch is not that good for thin features, so we can go and discuss this in future too. Now we're gonna move on to the script or post base command. So what does script command does? Basically, let's edit this feature and we're gonna extrude it. If we just delete this and delete this, we're gonna see how it's a pretty good sketch. And then we're gonna move on to script command, and we're gonna select. We have two options here. One of them uses a profile, a shape which we're gonna use for a script command, or one of them is the default one, which is the circular profile. It only sweeps a circular profile around our sketch, around our curve. So we're gonna need only the curve for it, and it's gonna give us the entire shape, circular shape. Okay, so if we want to give the thickness to it or the extrusion amount, we're gonna give it, and it's gonna get thicker and thicker, or we can say it's gonna get more in dia. Okay, as you can see, it's the figure we are getting. Now if we're gonna move on to the thin feature, we can give it some thickness to the part. It's more, it was giving a lot of thickness. Now we move on to 5 meters. Now we're gonna move on to 2 meters. And working, we'll give it 5. Yeah, which was a lot. It was basically colliding with the sketch here, therefore it wasn't generating any shape. As you can see, it's exceeding at some point. You will see that in future too. Okay, so we can exert it, and so far we have seen 3 feature commands, and we have seen how we are gonna use the sketch commands too. And then in the upcoming few tutorials, we are going to use some complex sketches. First of all, we will move through all the features, all the sketches commands, all the features command, and then we're going to go move on to some complex diagrams, some complex sketches, and then we can create some complex geometries. That's all from my side. Thank you very much.